Hi guys, Spurs here, back with another video, and in today's video I'll be reacting to a disappointing 1-0 home defeat to Chelsea in the second leg of the semi-final of the Carabao Cup, meaning we are out, losing 3-0 in aggregate, and I'll be reacting to today's performance and also giving my player ratings, and we'll also be looking at what Antonio Comte had to say after the game and where the problem is at the club at the moment. So please stay watching until the very end. I hope you're all well. Let's crack straight into it. So, we lost 3-0 in aggregate to Chelsea, bitter London rivals Chelsea. We lost 2-0 on the first leg at Stamford Bridge. It was always going to be an uphill task coming to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. First, we needed to win the match. We ended up losing 1-0. We had 2 penalties that were given that were overturned by VAR. And also a goal disallowed when we made it 1-1. But that got disallowed for offside, I believe. So it's just one of those games where you can't score, and it was really frustrating. Focusing from the start, Chelsea had a very professional performance, defended very well, and caused threat on the counter-attack, but mainly they were really solid defensively. We should have come out the traps a bit better and should have pressed higher. We played better in the second half, and where we were pressing that bit higher and we're on the ball more, and we had obviously 2 penalties that were given, showing that we're in dangerous positions. Sadly, they got overturned. We also score. So on another day, it could have been 3-3 on aggregate. Chelsea were the better team, don't get me wrong, in the 2 legs, but I thought we were good today. But if we had come out better in the first half, like I said we should have, in the first 5 to really gone for it, had the ball, but we sat back and let Chelsea have the ball. We didn't really start pressing. It's okay if you can sit back, but you will need to press. And we didn't press. It was a single man pressing at times, and that let us down. So we'd done that all the way through the game. I think I'd be sitting here and it'd be a different outcome. But it got to the point where, don't worry about the tie, try and worry about the game. But losing another game to London bitter rivals Chelsea is horrible. Of course, going out to the semi-final of a cup, we know we can win. Frustrating. So it was generally a frustrating day where there was positives to take out of it. Second half performance, we should have done a lot better in the first half. But this just strengthens Conte's case about spending money in the January transfer window, and what he said about the players aren't good enough. Is that why they're not playing for him? I don't know. Player ratings are on the screen now, and I'm going to go through them. So Galini's got a 4, at fault massively for the first goal. A mix up with him, I think it was like Tanganga and Sanchez. He was round. Obviously, Lloris wasn't in goal. I know it's a cup competition, and I said in the first leg that I would play the second keeper, but in the second leg I said, I would go with Lloris. It turned out to be the other way around. But in the first leg, I could understand you playing the second keeper, although Conte to go with Lloris. But when it's a big game like this and you're behind, you've got to play someone you trust, because you can see the players didn't trust Galini at fault for the first goal, and another mix-up from the corner that nearly led to another Chelsea goal. So giving him a 4. I'm not quite sure if he'd be our second goalkeeper in the long term. I think Spurs are already looking at replacements. Japhet Tanganga, I gave a 5. He was a lot better than he was at Stamford Bridge. He had a moment where he charged through the defence. And obviously I'm being quite strict with these player ratings because we've lost to bitter rivals Chelsea and played poor in the first, very, very poor in the first half. But Tanganga was better. Sanchez I've given a 5, who looked a bit ropey to start with early on in the game. Nearly putting him in the back of his net once again. But he did toughen up and was good defensively in the end. And I can say the same about Ben Davies. Those 3 who struggled at Stamford Bridge really were a lot better tonight. Emerson Royale given a 5. I find him frustrating at the moment to watch. I know he's young, he's only 22, but in the first half, when he gets the ball, he just gives it away. But he didn't play any worse than anyone else, to be honest. Højbjerg given a 5, I think really benefit from that rest against Morecambe. I think that's his best game in the Spurs shirt this season. He does get a rating 5. I think he was pressing higher, obviously won the penalty, although it got overturned. Forward-thinking passing, brave, aggressive, getting stuck in, the usual Højbjerg Viking we're used to. Harry Winks given a 5, who did give the ball away a bit in the first half, had a wild shot in the second half, but he did take the risk in the second half and he did control possession at well times. Doherty I've given 4.5, who I thought played alright, to be honest. He played left back, obviously not his left wing back, not his usual role, but the only reason I've given him 4.5, it's not his fault, but well, it's partly because he's not his favourite foot. he has to cut inside, and he slowed down lots of attacks, but he kept the ball alright and didn't give the ball away for a change. He managed to scramble it to a white shirt, which is good progress for Doherty, so I think he's making small progress in a Spurs shirt, but as I said, I won't be sad to see him go either in January if we find a replacement. Lascelles I've given 5, who I thought did cause a couple of problems, to be honest with you. When we had that good 5-minute spell, the first 5 minutes of the game that should have really gone on to be the whole of the first half, we ended up having a really poor first half, but he was creating things and he controlled the possession well as well. In the second half, not bad from him. 5. Lucas Moura I've given a 5.5. He didn't really do much. That he had a shot again in the first half, and also causing a couple of problems, perhaps taking on players. But Lucas Moura's effort rate is what's got him 5.5, and the same from Kane has got him 5.5. When he just works, he socks off, working so hard, getting stuck in. Obviously, the end product never getting it, but just working so hard is that thing. Substitutes now, which have introduced. This is new, as you know. Sessegnon I've given a 5. He came on, he whipped the ball in the box and took on a couple of players, but at the end of it was a poor ball. Didn't really see too much of him, so I've given him a 5. Brian Gill, the only one I've given a 6, so Brian Gill's got a 6. I like Brian Gill, as I said, he's young and I think he's very good. Gill I've given a 6 when he came on for his work rate. Work effort. I think he came on for about 15-20 minutes in the end. His work effort was amazing, and he also nicking the ball back, and he was the only one. He didn't look like it's going to cause problems, but he just gave it 100%, really working hard, getting stuck in, playing for that badge, and we haven't got enough players like that. So it's a pleasure to have someone like that. Skip I've given a 5, didn't see enough of. He didn't play for much of the game. So that is my player ratings. Let me know in the comments below what you would tweak and change. Now we're going to go on to Antonio's verdict on the semi-final defeat to Chelsea, second leg. See what Antonio Conte had to say about it. He might be positive, might be negative. Here we are. Antonio Conte's verdict on Chelsea semi-final loss in Carabao Cup. Antonio Conte gave credit to the players for their performance in the defeat against Chelsea in our Carabao Cup semi-final second leg Wednesday evening last night. Antonio Rudiger's goal from a corner on 18 minutes was the difference on the night at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as Chelsea ran out as 3-0 winners on aggregate. The early goal went in against the script we were all hoping for, however the team kept going and created plenty of chances as we ranked up. 15 efforts at goal. Indeed, things might have been different, but for 3 VAR calls going against us, 2 penalties overturned, Harry Kane's goal ruled for offside, although all 3 decisions look correct on replays. Yeah, I do agree, sadly. Here's what Conte had to say about it. Over 2 legs, Chelsea deserved to go to the final, stated Antonio on Spurs TV. But I think in the second leg tonight, we deserved a better final result. We created many chances, and the players that played with a great intensity, a will, not to desire not to lose the game. We were a bit unlucky. I don't like to use this word, but sometimes it can happen during the game. 2 penalties that were changed, and a goal disallowed after VAR. Then we had many chances to try and score, but at the end, I repeat, Chelsea deserved to reach the final, and we have to know this. I agree, Chelsea deserved to reach the final, but we did deserve a better end product on the night. We probably deserved to win the game, although Chelsea were really good. The big games keep coming as we now prepare for a huge week in the Premier League, the North London derby at home on Sunday, a trip to Leicester City on Wednesday, and then to Chelsea back at Stamford Bridge the following. Here's what Antonio Conte had to say about it. We know very well that we have an important game against Arsenal, then after 3 days against Leicester, then against Chelsea again. It will be a really tough week for us, and we'll try to give it our best. That is Antonio Conte. If you go to Spurs official app and go into Antonio's verdict for the semi-final defeat, and you could, at the bottom of the article, you can see Antonio Conte's interview if you wanted to watch that. Finally, actually 2 more things. Predicted score, nobody guessed the predicted score right because nobody predicted the score. So in pre-match previews, if you submit your predicted score in the comments below before the kick-off, you get a chance of getting a shout out in my next video. Just a bit of fun. You don't have to player calls, but yeah, just a bit of fun. Now I'm going to discuss with you what the problem is at the club at the moment going into the January transfer window and players we should buy. Of course, this is my opinion, so let me know in the comments below if you disagree. So you've got players, manager and owners. What's the problem at the moment at the club? I look here and see, obviously got a nice new stadium, But Levy and owners Joe Lewis, they don't want to spend a lot of money. They buy cheap and cheerful. That's the way of the club, and I disagree with it personally. Buying cheap and cheerful. I agree with the bit about the youth academy, but you can't just rely on that. You've got to buy good players as well. You haven't got to spend what Chelsea and City do, but you've got to spend better for a top 4 club. We spend more like a top 10 club if lucky. So my problem at the moment facing this January transfer window is Levy is reluctant. Levy and Joe Lewis are reluctant to spend. Fabio Paratici agrees with Conte that we should spend and get players that Conte wants. But I repeat this again, Conte will walk if Levy does not back him in the next 2 windows, including January, and he might walk quicker than we think in the summer transfer window because he said the squad isn't good enough. In this squad, I'm going to name, I think we've got a few players that are very good. I think we've got some good players in the squad. We've got Romero, Højbjerg, Kane, Son, Lucas and Lloris. Those 6 players, I would say, were the only ones to be happy probably to keep. The rest I wouldn't be sad to see them go. But obviously you've got young players like Skip and Winks who also I'd like to keep. But those 6 mainly. It's not good enough for a top 4 club. I said this before, but although I've been backing Antonio Conte about this, I think he's at fault for this defeat to Chelsea. I understand why he gave Galini a chance like he did against Morecambe, but when it's a big game and you're losing 3-0, and the only way you can get back into the game, really, if you think about it logically, playing your captain, who organises the defence and who the defence feel more comfortable around. When you're 2-0 down on Aggregate, you want someone to lead by example. And Lloris may not be the loudest character, but he organises that defence as the captain. And he's also a brilliant goalkeeper. And I think Galini really struggled tonight. So I would have played Hugo Lloris, to be fair, because it's a big game. I don't know about Dyer and Reguilon if they're both injured. They weren't. I didn't name them in the team news because Conte didn't mention them. It's Conte just proving his point to Levy about, we need to spend. But Conte, I see it at fault. He picked the tactics, he picked the team. If I was Conte, I would have said, go for it in the first half. I think in the first half, at half time, he said, press more. I would have said from the start, press high, give everything, forget about defending, forget what we've learned about counter-attack, just go for the game, press high, pass and move football, make it entertaining for the fans. You just never know. On another night, I think we could have won. So, although Conte is the right manager for the club, and I think he needs massive backing, he was at fault for that, to be fair. And also the players, they have worked hard for under Conte. There's some individuals that are letting him down. They're going to hold back, and Dombele, Doherty, by maybe not giving everything they should. So let me know what you think's the problem at the club below. Well, at the moment, we're linked with Adama Traore and Jesse Lingard at the moment. Them two we're really linked with. Adama Traore, I'm so keen to sign because that's that fullback, because we have not got a good right fullback at the moment, even if we do in the future. Reguilon I love, and I don't know why I wasn't involved tonight. Maybe injury, illness, COVID, we'll find out. I'll let you know more about that. But we need a right wing back, and I think we can convert Traore from a right winger, like forward, into a right wing back. Use his attacking presence, use his strength, skill, pace. Here I read everything. Emerson lacks all of that. Emerson Doherty lack the pace, they lack the skill, they lack the effort, they lack playing for the badge. Traore give it everything, powering down that right wing. Defensively, I think it'd be amazing strength, and attacking it'd be so entertaining to watch. And the problem was, one of the problems in this tie against Chelsea, we played similar to Chelsea. They outclassed us probably in both first half at our stadium and the whole game against Stamford Bridge, their stadium. But the key for this is the fullbacks. That's why I think this formation is not working under Conte. You need good fullbacks. Reguilon, we have one right wing back. We don't have a good fullback at all. So if we buy Traore, that answers all our problems. Whether it's like Son's injured, if we wanted to play with front three, Traore can play that forward role. Or, you can usually play that full-back role. We've got 2, 3, maybe even 4 positions on that front line or wing-back that Traore can play based on injuries, but I can really think turn him into wing-back. Jesse Lingard, I'm not sure about. Obviously, he went to West Ham. I'm not keen on that, although it was only on loan. I think he done all right when he came on against Aston Villa for Man United. I think there is someone better, players better we can go for, whether it's Donny van der Beek or welcome him Ericsson back for training. I'm not quite sure about Jesse Lingard. at the moment. But let me know in the comments below players you want to buy and players you want to sell. Sell, I think, we need to. And Ndombele needs to go out the door. Record signing, hasn't done anything. Fans not happy with him, rightly so. Lo Celso put better performance at times. But again, he's one of the ones who could go. But for me, I want to offload either Doherty or Emerson, one or the other, please. In the future, when we get better replacements, maybe even I reckon I'd like to offload both at this rate. Let's say we offload Doherty, Ndombele. Yeah, fair enough. Doherty and Ndombele. I love Delhi, but I think he needs to go now. Didn't come on again tonight. Starting to get annoying. Winks and Lo Celso, I've changed my mind. This window, I'm starting to think we should keep them, but with Doherty and Ndombele and Ali, for me, they need to go. And I want to see Traore at least through the door. So, although it's a January transfer window, you only get a month to get deals done. It is tricky. We need to buy players if we want to get top four, because Comte will just walk if he does not get backed or he does not get what he wants. He's very strict and harsh, but he will just walk very, very quickly. So we need to back him. Thank you for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed. As I said, that all of that stuff was my opinion, so let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm interested to know your opinion. Thank you, guys. Obviously not great, is it, losing to Chelsea anytime, especially when you get the chance to go to the final. Don't worry, keep your heads up high. We've got, still is an important week for our season. It doesn't end there. We've got Arsenal, Leicester, then Chelsea. 3 also big games. We can turn it around. Players can turn it around. Conte can turn it around. It's not over yet. Just because you lose one game, where we lose one tie against Chelsea, there was positives to take out of the performance, especially in the second half. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, come on you Spurs.